Hey, what's going on, guys? So what I have here is a 27-piece garage set. Someone hit my garage door. So you can see right here. Yeah. So obviously this needs to be replaced. But I decided to change everything since all these hinges are pretty old. So I'm going to be showing you guys how to do it. So you're going to get 10 rollers. That's a basic garage set. 2 number 3s. It's poorly stamped, but number 3 is the highest roller. 2 number 2s. And a bunch of number 1s. The number 1s are the common ones. Number 1s will be in the very center of your garage. But right here is number 1. Moving up to number 2. And number 3. And the last installer here installed the wrong roller. The track here is supposed to lean. The track here is supposed to lean a little this way, so there's gonna be a lot of things to do here. For lubrication, I have this silicone spray, and you want to use silicone spray because lithium grease collects a lot of dust. So, alright, here's our first hinge. You could use a ratchet or a wrench, but then an impact driver like this helps a lot. These have self-centering screws already, so most likely these are original. So for this one, I would have to, you have to force it in and then align it afterwards. The most important thing is you want the hinge to be aligned with the 2 panels. That's the most important. But let's move on to the next ones. Alright, so we're going to change this hinge with the roller. So we're going to remove everything all together and just slide this roller in, but you want to clean the track also at the same time. So after you take it off, you just look at the old one compared to the new. See, the diameter is slightly smaller. You can give the track a quick wipe down first, but later on we're going to do the whole track. Let's move on to the second one. This one's also a number 1. Again, make sure the hinge here is aligned with the 2 panels right in the middle. Now here's a closer look at the number 2 and the number 3 hinge. It may look identical, but if you actually look at it side by side, the number 2 is lower than the 3, just slightly. And that's because the track is leaning in a slight angle. I'll show you later. Now this is when it's tricky. You want to make sure on these number 2s and up hinges, you don't want to stab the roller through the pivot point. You want to put it through the non-pivot point. This is so the garage door can move. As you can see, someone installed this incorrectly. Again, the hinge is supposed to be aligned, while this is not. And here's another number 2. As you see, this previous installer is supposed to have this pointing down, and the roller is supposed to go through the non-hinge slot, and the hinge moves freely. I'll show you later on. So you see, he put the roller through the hinge side, which is, you're supposed to put it up here on the non-hinge side and leave this be. And also mounting it this way is the proper way. Here's the last number 3 hinge. As you can see, he put the roller through the hinge slot instead of this slot right here. So here's the hinge slot, putting it in the non-hinge. Slide the roller in, install the last one. Now for the last hinge on the upper corner, these are the adjustable hinges, and they're adjustable because they don't know if you have a 4-panel or a 5-panel high garage door. So right here, we're gonna adjust it afterwards. I'm gonna remove everything since I have the whole hinge. Here's the new hinge, proper length. You see how it slides back and forth. This allows you to adjust accordingly to how many panels you have in your garage door. Now when you're done installing the hinge, you're supposed to push push the top of the garage door until it seats, and then center this as close as you can. So I'm using my thumb to push the garage door against the wall, at the same time trying to align this. Now you want the roller to have tension this way while the garage door is facing, because once the garage door opens, this will lean, the first panel will lean back, clearing everything in the wall. For this last roller here, what you can do is bend this piece out a little bit. You use a curved plier and pop the wheel right out. You can swing the garage door out, change the roller. Here's a new one. Slide it right in. Because it's a new roller, you have to bend it out a little more just to fit it back in. Now you can these brackets are pretty malleable, so you could bend them a lot. Sorry for the poor lighting. Alright, now that I have all the hinges installed, the center ones are number ones, and then starting from the bottom, this is not a hinge but a bracket. Hinge number 1, hinge number 2, hinge number 3, and the top adjustable bracket. Time for some lubrication. Using this CRC silicone spray. Now it says food grade because you could use it for machineries in the food processing plant. So I'm just gonna spray a little bit here. So for the spring, you're just gonna do one line across. That should be enough. And here's the verdict. Started off with one bad hinge, so keep in mind the center ones are all number ones, which means there's only one slot, no bearing. At the very bottom, the first hinge will only have one slot, and this is the only one you put the wheels through the hinge. On the number twos, you want to install it with the wheels down. You want the hinge side to be aligned with the two panels so that it can bend properly. and the wheels will be at the bottom. No. That's good. Now these are cheap rollers. There's no bearings. This shaft is just riding on plastic. And once these break, it could cause more damage. Now here is nylon rollers and has a lot of resistance in spinning. And these rollers were about to go out. What I'm installing is ball bearings. I don't know if you can see, but inside there's about 10 rollers inside, and it spins more freely. Here's another number 2. This person installed it at the hinge side. It's supposed to be down here. So this could bend and the wheels could roll. Here's the number 3s. Again, they placed it at the... They're supposed to be on the hinge side with the hinge pivoting. And see, this one's about to break. The hinge side, well, it's supposed to be installed. And so for number 3, the height to the center of this is taller. And for number 2, it'll be shorter. And say if you have 7 panels, you'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. And then this adjustable bracket is the last bracket, where you can loosen these up and slide this down for the last height, adjustment.